All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to Brighton's Architecture Review Board on December 22nd, 2020. Wish everyone happy holidays and good health. First order of business, just make sure that your surroundings are safe. Make sure your cords are not wrapped around your feet, etc. If there's any emergency, please let us know as best you can. First order of business is approving the minutes from November 24th. Can I have a motion?
I have a question first, Stuart, if I may.
Sure.
Underneath 10 AR 120, 114 Sullivan Road, underneath the decision item, the last sentence.
Yeah.
I think just for clarification purposes, we were talking about putting some type of material underneath the deck to assist with the moisture barrier.
So like a skirt or gravel or?
I think we were talking about, two things. Number one, making sure that we had proper drainage away from the foundation underneath that deck. And then I think the recommendation was if they could put a gravel layer there, that would be an appropriate additional solution to moisture problems.
Okay. Did you note that, Jeff?
Yep, I got it.
Okay. Everyone agree?
Yeah,
Yes.
I had a problem with that term tracking myself. I don't think it was clear.
So, excuse me. Can I get a second? Pardon? I need a second motion to approve the minutes as corrected.
I approve as modified.
Can I get a consensus?
Approved.
Yep. Agreed.
Everybody in agreement?
Yes.
Okay, Jeff, note that the minutes from November 24th are approved.
Mhm.
And we'll go on to old business. First order of business is 10 AR-8-20, 144 Hemingway Drive. Ed and Teresa Kutkowski, constructing a new section of roof and framing for the front entrance.
Bob Cornell's on the line as well.
Okay, would they Ed or Teresa on?
I am on.
Okay, Teresa, would you like to present to us, please?
So basically, this is the front entrance of our house, which you've seen in the last couple of calls that we have been on. Bob Cornwell is on the line as well. He can answer the questions that you had regarding the roof drainage and the slope of the actual roof.
Okay. Mr. Cornell?
Well, as I've had conversations with Jeff, it's virtually impossible to draw a roof like this on a drawing that describes what's going to be done, because the guys that are going to frame this will do it on site to make sure that it drains properly. And so I did a revised drawing that Jeff wanted. You see that one now on the screen. I can't say any more. These sort of issues come up on additions. We have one right now in Rush on an addition. The architect missed the fact that the two roofs are off by a foot. So now that means that on site, we have to frame it so that it drains properly.
Yeah, we need to talk about this project. I don't mean to cut you off, but
Okay.
what we I'm going to go down the list of attendees and ask for their input. But we need to know materials. We need to know slope, etc. I don't see any of that called out. But Mary, you're up first.
Yes, I don't know what is revised. It looks like the same drawing we've been getting over and over again. So maybe you could, Bob, tell us what is different about this drawing? What additional information does it provide for us?
Well, I was told you were concerned about the drainage where the roofs come together. Is that correct?
Yes.
So I was told to redraw it to show better how it's going to drain. That's what you're looking at.
Jeff, can you put up the old drawing? So, Mr. Cornell, are you going to have gutters or downspouts on this at all?
Well, yes, of course.
Well, it's not called out on the drawing. That's why I'm asking.
Yes, we're going to tie into the existing gutter system. The problem that this house has right now is the roof that's over the existing addition, the front entrance, that's the exact same footprint as what's drawn, has a flat roof. What we're doing is we're putting on a gable end roof to allow proper drainage tied into the gutter system. The materials are going to match the existing house, vinyl siding, the shingles will match the existing roof.
Just-
Casey, you have
I'm
anything
sorry.
to add? Questions, Casey?
I think, did Mary have something first?
Well, no, I was just trying to finish my comment because I didn't see a difference in the drawings. And I think the point of our expectation that the drainage be addressed is we want to see what the physical result of that is so that we can determine whether it's appropriate for the architecture, because our concern is the visual appearance of the structure. And so I'm not sure that it's true that you can't do a drawing of what it's going to look like based on a reasoned hypothesis of how you're going to solve the problem technically. I think architects in general are able to produce that kind of a drawing before they build something. I understand that when you're out in the field, you have to make adjustments because reality isn't always the way we think it is. But that's all I have to say. I'll defer to my colleagues to elaborate any further.
Casey?
Well, I agree with what Mary said. I'm still trying to wrap my head around the revised drawing. I did notice the differences. I reviewed them all earlier. I guess I'm still struggling with now, so say the side elevation, top right corner, as the existing roof dives into the new fascia of the kind of the old addition. I mean, explain that, because now that's tucking under a new roof, a new fascia board, and then going back towards siding. I mean, is that correct?
Yeah, it's done that way all the time. You have a roof that ties into an existing structure. In this case, the existing roof will be flashed into the new fascia on the new entryway. So, I mean, it's done all the time. You put flashing between the back of the siding and the new roof, that shingles that are patched in. And you're right, it's underneath that roof.
And the new roof is just, and fascia board is just sitting on top, or, I mean, how's this all being tied back together?
You're talking about the fascia, the slope, or I'm sorry, the rake edge of the
Yeah.
new addition.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll end on top of the existing roof. The shingles are tied together. The valley is framed in such a way that it drains to that point, runs off the existing roof into the gutters on that existing part of the house.
Okay.
Here's the problem with these kind of projects, to go back to the statement about an architect draws these. An architect can spend hours trying to determine the exact pitches to 1/4 of an inch of those 3 roofs that come together and try to pre-engineer it and come up with section drawings like you would do if you were surveying for a road with the it's impossible to do it. It's never done in remodeling. You're going to tie the existing 3 roofs together on site. That's what carpenters do to get it to pitch properly. I can't stress it anymore. Like I said, we have a project right now. The architect missed it, and we've got to make it up on site.
I understand. What we're struggling with is the fact that these drawings are not clearly telling us how you plan on constructing this roof. Right now, I don't know the slope. I don't know the framing numbers. I don't know how this is getting tied together. I barely understand where the existing roof comes in because the roof plan is so foreshortened.
Well, first, I guess I'm just a little bit dismayed. I've been presenting things to the Architecture Review Board for the last 20 years in Rochester. The last project that I had in front of ABR was no more detailed than this. It was for a front porch. I just don't get.
Okay, Case, you all set?
Yeah.
Fran?
I think what would help is to have a entire roof plan to locate where the gutters are, whether they're existing or new, to point those out, because this is confusing to me too. I look at a side elevation that does not match up with the roof plan below it. And I
What?
don't see where the ridge line, I can't understand what's happening with the plan in relation to the side elevation.
Excuse me, what? It all carries directly down. It's a plan view of that elevation drawing. Everything lines up exactly. The ridge lines up exactly with the ridge. It was done on a drawing board. I mean, you're talking about roughly a $15,000 project that now you want an architect stamp drawing for. I just don't understand it.
Mr. Cornell, there was never any mention about a architect stamping any drawings.
No, but
They're-
that's what you
They're
guys
asking
are
for a
all
little
getting.
bit more information. And that's what we're trying to get clarity. So there's no need to get worked up. We know we've reviewed some of your projects in the past. This is the 3rd round with this.
Yeah, I know. That's what's so frustrating.
But we
It's a
don't
third
need-
round with
we don't need the-
$15,000 project.
We don't need the resistance, please. Fran, are you all set?
Yeah, I suppose I am. I'm not going to
Yeah,
get the
or-
information here.
Okay. Brian?
On the front elevation, you have a gutter tie-in. That's an existing gutter tie-in. Is that going to stay, or are you going to tie all of that into the front? There's a front gutter off of the front elevation. Are you tying it into that?
Yeah, there's a gutter along the front edge of that house that will put the new addition tied into that. Currently, the existing addition ties into it, but it
And
comes in with no pitch.
Okay, but on the front elevation, you have sort of a dip down on that down pipe. You've got, it looks like it ties into the other one on this, like off the side of the front elevation. Is that going away once you raise that up to so that everything's on the same level? Is that going away?
Correct.
Yeah, you can see it right there. Above the
Exactly.
tree.
See that?
Yeah,
Correct. The problem with that addition, as you can see plainly, it's below the elevation of the fascia boards on the existing house. That's the problem. So the gutter going to the right drains to the right, and the one on the left side of that existing addition drains to the left. All we're going to do, the right drain on the front of the house will stay. It'll terminate in front of the new addition, and the other drain, the other angle will drain all the way over to the left side into the existing gutter.
Okay,
So, Chris?
Because,
He's not here. Andrew?
Yeah, could you go back to the plan, please, Jeff? And I think just for clarification, Bob, your side elevation where you're actually showing a roofing member going back to the right-hand side, the reality is that that would not really occur, correct? Because we are looking at a peaked roof that the ridge line would be diving back directly into the existing roof behind it. And then you would have a valley. You would have a valley that would be created at the right-hand side of the new roof that would then go up and terminate at some point on the existing roof. The clarification, so I think that's one of the challenges in what we're looking at. The second thing that I'm not 100% sure of is what happens with, on the plan view, you have the right-hand side of your new roof, and you have the existing roof draining to the left. You have the new roof draining to the right. It appears as if that draining is going to come together and just drain directly on the existing roof, and then go down to the gutter. So that's where a little bit of confusion. What happens with the water that comes down that valley and turns that lower corner 108 degrees toward the driveway? Is that just going to then sheet to the existing gutters that are along the garage,
Yes,
part of the garage facade?
right. There's no other way you can do it.
So do you anticipate using anything other than an asphalt underlayment? Are you going to be putting copper or a metal even here to?
No. What you do, the code calls for ice and water shield in valleys. So that area will have ice and water shield, and then the shingles applied on top of it.
Okay.
Because it's going to be probably, see here again, I can't tell you the pitch. If it's less than a 4 pitch, it's got to have ice and water shield. That's basically code. So we would ice and water shield a valley anyway, and not knowing the final pitch of this roof, we would anticipate ice and water shield pretty much the entire right side of the new addition roof and a good portion of the valley of the existing roof where they come together.
Right. Okay. But I think that maybe the first question and the first answer you provided, I think might provide some clarity to some of the other questions that have been asked, because that ridge line does go directly back perpendicular to the door facade into that roof line. You will not see roofing from that side elevation.
Correct. But I can't tell you, that may have it, that may have a cricket in there to make it work. Again, those are the things, because you got 2-3 roofs coming together.
Yep.
And until we get on site and start framing it, I can't tell you how it's going to come out. The best I can do is draw with the arrows showing the pitches and how it's got to be worked out in the field.
Yeah, and I guess one of the other concerns that we have is just to make sure that the downspouts, that we don't repeat the same situation that you currently have on the house, where we have a downspout right adjacent to another downspout coming down a leader pipe down to the ground. And it just,
Correct. Here's one. I've been doing business in Brighton. I live in Brighton. I have an excellent relationship with the building department in Brighton. That's the, I can tell you right now, there's a lot of contractors that would look at this job and screw it all up. We won't screw it up. I'm not going to get callbacks. I'm not going to have somebody calling me because it leaks. I can't afford that. We have too big a reputation in Rochester for somebody to start bad mouthing us because we didn't know what we were doing. So that's why I find this, again, I'm just a little dismayed. If you had never heard of us and never knew us and didn't see anything like that we've done in the town of Brighton, I could understand the trepidation. We are not going to mess this up.
Thank you. Everyone all set? Any other
Yep.
questions?
Hey, Bob, real quick, is the whole roof being reshingled or are you just doing it to match?
No, we're going to do it to match at this point, unless the owners want to go further, but it has not been part of any conversation at this point.
Okay, just wondered. Thanks.
Yep. Yep, no problem.
And I guess
Well,
just, I guess, Stuart, just
Yep.
for clarification purposes, I know we've gone through this before, but the materials that you're using for the siding, the trim, all of that is to match the house as it exists today?
Yes.
Bob, just a real quick question. Any lighting being added on?
No.
Okay.
Well, by code, we've got to have a light outside that door.
Yeah.
Yeah, by code. So that's got to be there. But beyond that, no.
Okay, it's going to be like a standard sconce or lantern or something?
Yeah, side mounted, wall mounted light with a switch.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're going to deliberate this at the end of the meeting. You're more than welcome to stick around if you want. Other than that, you can call Jeff's office in the morning and get our answer.
Okay. Right.
Okay, I appreciate it. And thank you for continuing to do business in Brighton.
Thank you, guys.
You bet. Thanks.
Take care. Bye.
Next on the agenda is new business. Excuse me, I lost my agenda here. 12 AR-1-20 Cohasset Drive, Geotherm Incorporated, roof mounted solar.
They withdrew the application.
They withdrew?
Yep.
So we're on Georgian Court?
Yep.
Next is 12 AR-2-20 177 Georgian Court Road, Design Works Architecture, 2-story addition and renovation. Are they here?
How you doing? I'm Serge. I work with DesignWorks Architecture, and I believe the client is also here.
Yeah.
It's Ed. There's Ed.
Okay, would you go ahead and get started?
Yep. Clients are proposing an addition over their existing garage that will tie in to their existing second story, and then there's another addition off to the west side here, which is the 1-story living family room.
Okay. You need to describe materials, etc.
Yes, so the upper level has a stucco finish that will match, and then the lower level brick will basically remain existing.
Okay. Mary, we'll start with you. You have any questions?
No, I looked at it earlier. It might be helpful to see the existing photographs for the other board members. And there's also a floor plan. So you're replacing the columns on the porch and you're changing the level of the porch, making it all one level, right?
So we're increasing the size of the front stoop to allow better access and actually access from the front. Right now, you sort of have to come around this bush and climb up the side here. We're gonna create it and do it in such a way where it'll actually fill up, it'll go all the way to the edge of this alcove here.
Nice, yeah.
And the door will be centered in here, a new door, and then there'll be steps up from the front, and some of these hedges will go away. So yeah, here's a good view of that.
Is that it, Mary?
Yes, thank you.
Yep. Casey?
Just a couple questions. I know, so top left where you're kind of pushing out the second floor wall, it does say repurpose existing window, but it is a different size window than what is there currently. Right?
No, that's the existing window that's in that bathroom. We're basically, if you look at the existing photograph, you'll see that section of the house right here is in an alcove, and that bathroom is only like 25 inches wide. So we propose basically extending this existing wall across, repurposing the existing window that's there.
Right, but right now the existing window is narrower,
I see what you're saying.
which
Yeah,
seems
so
to match the middle window.
I think so the middle window remains, and then we'll match the existing window. There's an existing window that we're removing from a back bedroom.
Okay,
That'll match the one over here on the right. So they'll be equal across that narrow window.
okay, so the new window will be wider, similar to what's on the far left and what's on the right.
Yeah, the two windows on either side of the narrow window across the front will match.
Okay, and then will be located symmetrically with that narrow window in the center being the center point, so it's equal.
Correct.
Okay, so it won't be,
Makes sense.
so technically it won't be equal with the door opening below, because that is shifting to center up in between your posts.
Yes.
Above, it kind of has a rhythm, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I believe that was the only question I had when I reviewed everything earlier, so thank you.
Yep. Fran?
On the front of the house currently, I think there are just a couple of downspouts. How are you going to resolve that now? You have that worked out?
With the additional roof,
Right.
will it'll likely be caught by the existing downspouts that are there. I mean, we're not modifying any of that lower roof, and we're not increasing any surface area.
What about for the addition though?
And that can be tied into an existing. I see what you're saying. You're looking to have us tie into the garage north.
Yeah.
Which currently doesn't have a downspout.
Yeah.
I see that.
Right.
Yeah, so I guess we're not there yet with figuring that out, but that would be ideal, would be to be able to connect into the north side here along the garage and drain that upper roof.
Okay.
Well, and I guess,
Fran, you all set?
Yes.
Brian?
Just one question, are they gonna need a variance for this?
No,
Okay,
Is Chris online yet?
Chris isn't gonna be on tonight.
I don't
Okay.
think he's gonna be on, yeah.
All right. Andrew?
yeah, so I just wanted to further a little bit of the conversation about the downspouts, especially as it relates to the garage section of the structure. That second floor roof above the garage on the left-hand side to the left of the gable, you're going to have a roof section that's going to be lower than any of the existing downspouts in that area. I do want to see some work done so that we don't have a downspout that then discharges on that lower roof that is going to be seen, and God forbid it carries down on top of the roof to discharge into the gutter below on the porch structure. So I do think that's extremely important to take a look at, because we don't want to see more downspouts in the front of the structure if possible. The second thing is just a clarification of some of the materials that you have. You say a new 10 by 10 cased column. What is that column going to be made of?
What is the painted material going to be?
Yeah, wait, is that just a wooden material, or is it what material is that?
I mean, I would think it would be painted AZAC material.
Okay, and then the trim painted to match all the remaining trim on the structure itself.
Yep.
All the trim. And for the roofing, you're just going to do the new section of the second floor addition in new roofing. Is that correct?
Correct. They may have to tie in where the garage cuts into where the new structure cuts into the existing garage. I'm imagining we'll have to get tied in.
Well, but you anticipate you will be able to match those roofing materials. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. And just is the garage door remaining the same, or are you going to be changing that? I can't tell.
That's existing. Yeah, the only change will be the front door.
Okay. And then I guess the final question I have is in regards to the addition off the back. What are the materials that you're utilizing for that on the exterior, and how are those windows matching the existing windows of the structure, or are they?
The windows on the back are larger casements. The rhythm of them, basically the width of them, does match the windows on the rear. But the materials would match the house. We were likely using a stucco finish to match. Would you be doing any type of base material, brick for the base, or literally stucco down to some dimension off of grade? Yeah, so probably to stucco down to probably over the CMU. That's how I would imagine it. Okay. And that roof material would match the existing as well, I assume, and all the trim to match as well. Okay. Yeah, we're purposely tying in this lower roof into the garage roof at the back, so that all the fascias will align and match materials and sizes. Gotcha. And I guess I don't have enough. I don't see an elevation of the east, but you do have a couple roof sections coming down, and it appears to be an upper floor window for the bedroom, master bed area. And is that window to match the other windows of the home as well? That window will match the new master bedroom windows on the east side.
Okay, a couple of questions on my end, real quick, is just lighting. Do you have a lighting plan? Are there going to be fixtures selected, or?
We're not adding any new lighting that I'm aware of.
So the floodlights above the garage are going to stay?
I would assume so. Ed, do you have a thought about that?
Porch light above.
We haven't really discussed any new lighting.
And then material finish on the back, especially at the foundation. Is there, stucco straight to the ground, or do you have something separating? Do you have a band separating the ground from the stucco?
It hasn't really been discussed, but a lot of the folks that do finish with stucco like to bring it all the way down to grade over the
Yeah, I was
CMU.
wondering if you're gonna do like a cultured stone or carry the brick around or what? If there's any
don't-
thought.
That we haven't discussed that. I would assume just stucco down to grade.
Yeah, I would think so. Yes. Just to get back to the lighting, I think the porch lighting, I don't know if we would be changing that. We would like to change the floodlight because there's too much leakage there. We'd want to put something where there's more direct lighting going down. Right now, it's just one of those cheap floodlights, which is not ideal. So.
Okay. All right. Anyone else have any other questions? We all set? So you can call the Jeff's office in the morning and get our answer. And so thank you for your time tonight.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Yes, you too.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
So next on our agenda is 12 AR-3-20 133 Summit Drive. Torchia Structural Engineering and Design, a garage addition, small house addition, and adding a covered patio. Are they here?
Andy's online.
So if they're here, they can start their presentation.
He's getting on. There he is.
Okay.
You're muted, Andy.
Homeowners in this case, young couple wanting to change some existing conditions to benefit their growing family, and just a basic update of features to match current vehicle sizes and just quality of life. So we're extending the front of the garage. We've already gone through the zoning variances for that. We also are extending the lower pitched roofs, or redoing the lower pitched roofs over the kitchen area. And the extension for a laundry area and extended foyer to create an entryway mudroom type and laundry area for the homeowners. By extending the garage, the existing size of the garage is 2 small doors that don't really accommodate current vehicle sizes. You can pull in, but you can't really open the doors to your cars, kind of thing. So we're basically been asked to update that and maximize the space that's allowed with the variance that's approved. I don't know if you have any specific questions. You can see from the drawings that we're extending the wall on the left-hand side of the garage, looking at the north elevation, extending the right-hand side just a foot or 2, and then bringing out that shed roof in both of those cases for the entry, then the roof over the new extended foyer, and covered area for an exterior hardscape patio.
Mahler, are you all set?
Me?
Yeah. How are you?
Who you, Mackenzie?
Hey,
Nice to see you, buddy.
yeah, you too. Mary, you're up.
Well, I really can't see anything right now. This drawing is only halfway on, and I'd like to just scroll through see the plans too, if we can.
Okay, you should have everything you need. We got it
Yeah,
all drawn
thank
up.
you. Yeah, that's helpful.
So if I might just point out, you can see over the front entryway, there's just a cluster of things, roof water and everything coming down right on top of the front entry door. That's been a nightmare since they moved into the house. So we're trying to alleviate that condition, as well as the ability to utilize the garage.
And you're eliminating those nice garage doors and you're doing a single door, is that right?
We're actually doing a single door. I've sent an elevation in or that shows the selection. It's basically like a Craftsman style 4 or 2 bay look. And you say those are nice doors. That's a V groove, heavy pine. It does look nice from the road elevation, but they're well, I guess that's your opinion. So we're trying to improve that as well, but we're going to tie the front door into the garage door with more of a Craftsman style approach to match a little bit better. And the color in this case, what you're looking at right now, the color match would be to the next slide down. Jeff, if you just scope down, we're going to shoot for that color. The design that we've chosen through Clopay does not have that same finish, so we're either going to paint or find another manufacturer to match the Craftsman style that has a color match to the front entry.
Okay. And that downspout situation, how is it getting resolved? Can you show us on the drawing, please?
It's not shown on the drawing. The approach here is we're moving the water out away from, because we have actually a covered entryway now, an extended shed roof in both cases there, and we're going to go down. The idea that we've talked about so far is either a rain garden approach or a dry well, and drop that water away from the front entry.
So everything's sheet flowing, all the roofs?
No, it'll be guttered, but we'll bring it out away from the house, either subgrade out into a dry well or into I think in the garden area in the area by the overhang for the covered patio. There's been talk of tying that into some kind of a rain garden system that the architect described to me as a stone base with a murify layer and, topsoil and the whatever plantings work with that condition.
Are you set, Mary?
Sure.
Casey?
Yeah, can you just explain, I guess if I'm looking at the existing house versus the new front elevation, what, are we matching one of the current datum points for the new roof line that's now extending across? And then once you answer that, what happens like right now where we've got the low rock wall and the very low roof coming down? I mean, it's probably got to be 4 feet high. What's happening in that corner? I guess, where's that roof going?
There's a side elevation that shows exactly that. So if you scooch over to the right, yeah. So you can see there that the new shed roof, if you will, it's a 412 shingled roof, and we're tying that in as high as possible to get the headroom for the framing or the carrying member over the patio. And that will also, you can see where the front entryway extends out just a little bit further than that. And you can kind of see it penciled in behind. The roof comes out a little bit longer on the opposite side of that gable end front entry. And so the ceiling height in the actual laundry room becomes a little bit of an issue, but we've addressed that by putting a sink there and not having a headroom issue in the laundry room. So you get that consistent pitch from the street view all the way across. Just you have 2 different levels as shown.
Is you all set, Casey?
So,
Fran?
My questions were answered through Mary and
Okay.
Casey.
The other
Okay.
thing I should mention is in every condition, we're replacing with like material. We may go with AZAC depending on the budget, but we're gonna be matching the natural cedar shake and all the trim to the main house, the main structure existing, as well as the stucco on the front over the main entry.
Brian, you have any questions?
I didn't have anything to add, but I did want to ask, are they redoing the roof completely, the roof shingles in this?
At this point, no, we don't see a reason that we have to do that. The tie-ins are pretty clean and the transitions, it's not in the budget at this point.
Brian, you
Okay.
also,
All set.
Andrew?
Yeah, I guess I just need to ask the same question that Casey asked about that rock wall section and the roof height there. And I do need to understand a little bit better what the height of that roof is going to be in relationship to the existing roof on the, what would be the east side of the garage. So the east side of the garage, the roof dips down to some height. And over on the entry side, it does appear as if that roof line is being brought up to an 8-foot height or so. I'm throwing numbers
That's
at
correct.
you, Andy.
Yep, I'm sorry to interrupt. So that whole section you're looking at where the lower gutter is and the stone wall, that's all being removed, and because that everything inside that that little entry door to the garage space, that all becomes interior space for the new laundry room at a higher ceiling height. So that whole lower level, that whole end of that rake edge is going to be removed,
Okay.
including
that's what-
the stone wall.
Jeff, if you go to the plan view, the demo plan actually explains it. That's when it finally all started making sense. It's one of the last pages. There you go. So if you zoom into demo, that's where it starts to make sense how they resolve the right side at the roof.
Okay, I got it. Yep. But that basically that garage is not getting any wider to the entry porch area, correct? Because if it does, then I have questions about the upper section. Based upon the proposed north elevation, that entire stucco wall that's behind the garage remains consistent. You're not changing any of that. Is that correct?
We are actually, you can see where the roof ties into the lower portion of that, and where that intersects or the pitch comes off of that for that shed roof, we'll be adding a lower trim feature that's shown on the elevation. So we'll be clipping the bottom of that stucco portion to accommodate whatever the pitch is that meets the where the shed roof starts.
Okay. And what you're talking about is that horizontal trim piece that I
Yes.
see in
Yes.
the north elevation, correct? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. But the remaining portion of that stucco finished wall remains the same. There's no change
Yes.
to it other than what you just described.
Yes, and we're gonna go to whatever length to match the actual age stucco and detail over the little gable on the overhang on the front entry as well.
Okay.
So we'll tie that in nice and
Yeah, that was I guess the only thing, and I would bring up the downspouts again to make sure that that is rectified. We don't have a
right, and we addressed that in zoning as well, and we've assured everyone that we're either going to a dry well or condition that will handle whatever the flow is in some kind of a. I'm not really that familiar with the rain garden, but I'm sure Stuart could fill you in on that.
No, I understand them pretty well. No, I think that's a great idea. I've designed a few of them myself.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
interested, honestly.
That's all I had, Stuart. I think everything else was kind of answered.
Okay, hey, Andy, I got a couple questions.
Sure.
Are all your colors gonna remain the same? on
Yes.
And then your proposed west elevation, the existing house portion, and the photographs, it looks like there's windows there, but in the
They are,
drawing, there are no windows on the right-hand side of your proposed west elevation. Windows are gonna remain? Right.
I think you might be mistaken. The windows are on the east elevation. Yeah, there's no spot for windows there. I think on the other side of the
So I'm looking at the view, the photograph view looking southeast at the stone wall on the right side of the house. It looks like there's windows behind those shrubs. I can't tell. That's what I'm asking. And in the drawing, it doesn't look like there are any.
Well, I think that's where the door is. That's where the existing house and the door are, Stuart. I think that's what that is, right?
Yeah, there is a door that's whited out there to the right on the proposed west elevation. But on the existing conditions, there's something up on the second floor. I don't know what it is. And it looks like there's a window to the right of that door on that side.
we are not going to be removing or changing any of the windows on the second floor.
Okay,
No.
all right, that's all I needed to
Everything
know.
comes in below those dormers, Stu, so.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the front wall, the first wall on that proposed west elevation on the right-hand side of the sketch. It says existing house. But in the photograph, it looks like there are windows and doors and things, but in the drawing, they're not.
Okay. So actually, I'm sorry, Stu. That whole side there is we just put that as stone because we're not affecting that at all. So I didn't have to do all the field measurements for it. It's all existing and it stays existing. Sorry about that.
I just wanted to make sure nothing was getting.
Yeah, no, we're not blocking that. That's going to be as is unaffected.
Okay, that's all I had to ask.
We just put a field of stone there because we didn't want to do the detail on the whole house.
Yep, and then your roof above the ceiling above the patio, that's going to be a finished ceiling?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
It won't be open framing. Yeah, we'll put some beadboard or let something under there that's clean. Maybe just sheet stock with battens, whatever whatever we choose. We haven't done that detail yet.
Okay, that's sounds good. So anyone have any more questions?
Could you just show the front view again, please, Jeff? I just had a question about where the roof comes down above the portico. It looks like it's coming in front of the window there a little bit. I'm sure that's just the drawing. I just want to make sure that that is going to clear the window as it goes back toward the house.
Yeah, I think it's, like you say, from that elevation, it looks pretty tight, but we'll look at that closer when we're framing, but the balance seems to that they just missed. So that's a good observation. I'll take a look at that, and if we need to address it, we will. If I'm not sure if that overhang goes all the way back to that wall.
Yeah, that's another
Yeah,
thing.
it must, yeah. So yeah, we'll look at that detail and, if the, that's gonna be guttered as well, so.
Well, it actually looks like your columns are also too far out. It looks like they need to come in a little bit if they're going to be hitting that board flat. It looks like they're going into actually the roof and not the beam.
Yeah, I asked the architect about the size of those columns too, and she said that or the designer said that that was more in character with this period with the narrow columns and the.
Yeah, I just, do you understand what I'm saying, though? It looks
Yeah,
like
yeah, yes, I do,
the
yes, I do.
Stops short of the columns.
I think if anything has to change, it's that those columns would just be moved in a couple of inches.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that would, because obviously you can see where the header there would be clipped as well.
Sure.
So I think that's another great observation that I'll make sure our construction drawings represent that as it will be done.
Thank you.
And that will actually lessen the height of the roof too. If you're
Yeah.
able to pull those columns in, then you can actually pull your roof line up a little bit higher, which will then negate that issue that Mary's suggesting.
Well, like I said, if it's not a huge change for you, I'd like to ask that we just address that in the construction drawings and have it represent the same character.
Yeah, we can make a note of it. Any other
Yeah,
questions?
I just don't want it to delay any of the ARB. We've
Yeah.
gone through zoning and then we'll go to after ARB, we still have to go to the permit drawing. Sorry, thank you.
So just while we're looking at this screen right here, what is your dimension from your peak of your new entranceway to the bottom of the window on the second floor? And do you have enough room for flashing in that area? And has that detailing been completed yet?
That detailing has not been completed yet. We tried to maximize the height without interfering with the window and room for proper, if we have to remove the apron under the sill there or whatever to get the flashing in there and ice and water those valleys, and that'll all be addressed on the construction drawings.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Last call for questions. Andy, you can call Jeff's office in the morning, get our answers, or you can hang out for listen to the deliberation if you want.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, but yeah, thanks. It looks pretty good.
All right, happy holidays to you guys. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, next are signs.
Yeah.
Is that blush or bush?
Well,
It's a bushy blush.
Isn't that the kids' room?
It
Yeah.
was.
It was, yeah.
Oh.
Mary, you're up.
I don't know why people insist on having signs that suffer from legibility issues, but.
Absolutely.
it's
Casey?
all- Yeah.
No, I'm fine with it. Didn't we already review a sign like this? Is it relocating from somewhere else?
Yeah, I think it was in that same block. It was a bigger building that this was on at one time.
Same conversation 1 year later, right?
Wasn't it right next door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there
I
you
don't
go.
remember it. Fran?
I'm good with it.
Brian?
Yeah, it's fine.
Andrew?
I echo Mary's comment. I don't understand what it says. Hughie has underneath blush. What
Beauty
that-
bar.
what-
Beauty bar.
Yeah, right. That's what you think it says. But I really think it says Hughie Bass has.
You know, yeah, I think you're right.
Hottie bass.
Regardless of that, I'm fine with the sign. This is internally illuminated. And of course, like, the town needs to take a look at the amount of illumination coming from this. What I don't understand is what is illuminated and what is not illuminated. Jeff, do you have clarification on that?
I
Is
think,
that,
I think it's just like a box and it's illuminated that way.
so the box, do we think that the box is illuminated and the letters stay dark?
Yeah, that's what it
Yep.
looks like. There's an image showing it
Flat
Right.
background space with final graphics.
on the right
Yeah.
there.
White background, black graphics.
Okay.
So those external changes that are called out, are those from a previous design? Like-
To the building.
Like the new door, new vinyl siding,
Ooh, good questions.
CMU foundation?
It hasn't been through.
Yeah, we just need clarification on that. It may have been when they first did the kids' room.
Mhm.
But
I think it was from when they did the kids' room. They just recently painted it, so it's no longer that blue color. It's like a gray.
okay, we just want to make sure of that. So
Yep.
Yeah.
so everyone's okay with this sign.
Yep.
So
That's a stretch, but yeah.
Yep.
it's a KO. So next is
Funny.
Cheers.
Sunny's Fancy Diner.
You saw Cheers too?
Yeah, it's exactly what I saw is
Yeah.
Cheers. That's the exact
Yeah.
emblem for the Cheers signage.
Yeah.
I think what that's
It
going
is.
for. Another illegible sign.
Happy though.
I can at least read Family Diner.
I can read the ice cream.
How many signs can they put on this thing? They've got 3.
This one's gonna not be there. They got this approved through the zoning board, but now they're gonna have, but they all agreed it was too small, so they're getting this one. And then they have to get,
Oh, that one?
they're getting this one that's on the side, and then this one too. And those both need zoning board approval still.
Okay.
And they're gonna have, it says they're gonna have gooseneck lighting over the signage.
Yeah. And the gooseneck lighting was approved when they did the architecture review for the building.
So Mary, yes or no?
I'm been beaten into submission. Okay.
Casey,
I'm good with it.
Fran,
I'm good with it.
Brian,
Yeah, it's fine.
Andrew?
I'm fine with the sign. What I'm a little bit hazy on is the gooseneck lighting and how that's going to work with this sign.
I was just wondering that myself.
Because it looks like and again, we're looking at an architectural or an Adobe rendering of where the sign is going. And it looks like the apostrophe right beyond the Y is tucked up right underneath that eave. So how does that fit and how do the lights fit? I'm fine with approving the sign, but I guess my commentary would be that we have to know, or the town has to know, how the gooseneck lighting works with this sign.
Okay, did you note that, Jeff?
Yep.
How many and where?
It's almost like it has to go underneath the letters.
Yeah, or who knows? On
I'll
the
try to
roof.
pull up the original. My thing work.
All right. We asked Norm and Cliff and those guys how they like it.
Yeah.
So signs approved, Jeff, and just the question on the lights.
Yep.
Okay, back to old business. Everyone doing okay?
Nope.
Mhm.
Yep.
144 Hemingway Drive. Mary, yes or no?
Oh, God. I wish you would have just done a model. If you just done a model, at least we could be sure that he had a plan.
He probably could have paid a designer $500 to do it on the side and be done with this.
Yeah, just a model of the.
SketchUp model.
Take a picture.
I did
So-
this to try to figure it out. If that helps any.
It's all a question of whether, you know, you want to trust him based on what he says his reputation is. I mean, if everyone said that, why would we even be here?
I've never heard of them either. Just saying.
So Casey, are you a yes or no?
I-
Or need more?
I
think
mean,
this-
I still need more. I guess one thing that he hasn't even committed to is, as I look at the side elevation, do the two pitches above the main entrance, are they going to match existing? Because he keeps saying he doesn't know what the existing pitch is, and he doesn't know what the pitch will end up being. Like, at least if you could tell me that those two over the door match, and then yes, the one on the right will then vary as you taper back because it's going to change. I don't know.
Okay. Fran?
Well, you know, when you just showed that view, that was a little more helpful. But the fact that we can't even get a roof plan that has notes on it, that little partial one, you can't see where the existing ridge line is, and it made it just confusing, completely confusing. We're really looking for notes on where the gutters are, just some notes, you know. We can identify some of it with those little arrows he puts on, but again, like Mary was saying, he, you know, the fact that he does it right, that's not the same thing as being able to review a drawing. However, I understand how it's taking now, this is the third time of reviewing it for something so simple. And I guess it would be so simple if there were just some notes on the drawing and just the full roof. That would have simplified it completely. I don't know. It's like why it's so difficult to get that information. But I guess oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Just wondering, does he have to jump through another hoop to get the permit, where he's going to have to be more specific about what he's doing?
Right. You get a permit with these drawings.
He's
That's
gonna
what
have to go-
Oh,
he's gonna have to go through the architect. I mean, she's gonna have to review the plan.
He'll have to have construction drawings in order to do this, so they'll have to approve those,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right?
So why can't we request that we get those drawings? I mean, I think that's what we all want, is where are the drawings that you're actually going to submit for permit, because those are the ones that are actually legible and you can understand what the concept is.
So what's the history of this? We've tabled it once and then stopped them another time, postponed them, right?
Yeah, she postponed the owner, and so the decision has to be made on it tonight.
So is this the second official review?
Yes.
So we can't table it and we can't deny it. I mean, we can deny it, right?
Can we treat it as you know, we've done like concept reviews. Could we say that we approve the concept, ensure that slopes match existing, and then submit the construction or permit drawings for final approval? I mean, can we do that? Just treat it like a concept, which we've done on so many projects, and then say, okay, we like the concept, now come back with your real elevations and your roof plans that are fully noted and dimensioned for your final ARB review.
But would that be something caught by the inspector or the town? Or they would, you know, we can approve it and then they have to demand the dimensions and construction drawings and everything.
We would anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where my head is. I mean, to his point, he has been coming to the ARB for many years with a bunch of stuff. Not this, but it seems like seems like a minor thing, and for him not to be able to draw it seems odd to me.
He also might be hedging it in the sense that he opens that roof up and there's a lot of dry rot all the way through both
Right.
the main
That's
house.
what I'm
But
thinking.
yeah, so
He wants to, protect himself during the process. But I think the fact that he, comes back with the same drawing, it's a little, I don't know, impertinent towards the board. And I think that, some sort of stipulation, I mean, if you guys think we should trust him to do this work, maybe we should lay out some performance parameters as regards our purview. But, and if there's going to be a further inspection by the building department, the other opportunity is we can say, okay, they'll catch anything that's not right about this. I mean,
I know that the architect and the building inspector do a good job. So
they did what?
they do a good job when they're inspecting these things.
okay. So I'm good at approving the concept and then letting everyone catch the technical stuff.
Yeah, that works for me too.
Yep, I'm fine with that.
Well, but the question, you are approving a concept and then want to have them come back again?
No,
Then
I
you're
don't-
approving, then you're suggesting to approve this with the idea that the town, through the construction documents, will catch all of the
yes,
stuff that we're talking about.
yeah, I want to use them as a safe net, and then I have a feeling he's going to open up that roof, and it's going to be a lot more severe than what we know. Just judging by the photographs.
Yeah, I can actually be on board to approve this with the conditions that fully document, the construction documents are fully reviewed by the architect of the town. Gutters are resolved to reduce the number and the frequency of gutters along the house. That all the roofing is to match existing. I mean, all of those conditions, and put a bunch of conditions on this thing. I would be in favor of moving this forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is everyone good with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Jeff, are we able to get the inspector over there at different times? Like when he opens this up, can we have an inspector there just to make sure that if there is excessive dry rot, that he's just not building into it?
Well, I know that he will go out and do an inspection for the framing. Like before it's roofed over, he does a framing inspection.
Yep. Okay. All right. And then anyone have any other comments or questions on this one?
Well, can we run through those conditions? Jeff, do you have all the conditions?
I have roofing to match existing, and then resolve gutters and downspouts to reduce number. And
I think slopes and the depth of the overhangs need to match existing.
Yes, outside the demo area, the existing outside the demo area.
Right.
are you talking on the drawings or when it happens?
What was that, Jeff?
The overhangs on the new sections have to match what's on the roof, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Then your shingles are to match.
Yep, I have that one.
I know this should be caught by the architect, but that valley that's going to be formed and the water running off the valley in the existing roof that then goes down toward the garage.
Yeah.
That section, I don't know how to verbalize it, but that has to be done in a way that we're ensured it's waterproof.
Right.
And I don't want to see a damn gutter going down the
But he should be able to catch it with a valley. two valleys that come together, almost like a Y, and then bring it down,
Yeah.
right, into the trough.
Yeah, I don't know how that condition is done typically.
I would think you'd be able to have like a splash plate that would redirect it out onto the existing garage roof and then catch it in the trough, so it doesn't overshoot.
Right. Okay.
Anything else?
I mean, you already said, I think all materials to match, siding to match, trim to match, et cetera, as
Yep.
presented. Yep.
You good, Jeff?
Yep.
So on to the next one is 177 Georgian Court Road, Design Works Architecture, two-story addition and renovation. I'm pretty good with that. I think he was pretty clear on what he was doing. And I want to comment, everyone had great questions, by the way. So I thought it was pretty thorough. Mary?
I'm fine. I don't know if we want to, he didn't address the downspouts from the upper roof. So I don't know if we need to say anything about that. I'm pretty sure he's gonna work it out.
Yeah.
So I'm fine.
Casey?
I'm fine with it.
Fran?
I approve it.
Brian?
Approved. Fran, you know Ed and Carolyn, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
you do too.
I do. I'm excited they're getting this done.
Yeah.
Andrew?
Yeah, I would approve it. I just want to make sure that we make the notation that the gutters have to be worked out. The other is, do we call out the materials as he's called them out this evening? Because he wasn't sure whether or not he was going to be using AZEK or whether or not he was going to use a natural product for those new columns. It's not noted on these drawings, so just as a CYA, do we want to add something to suggest that our approval contingent upon the presentation of having AZEK material used for these posts, columns?
Yeah, or yeah, that's fine, or natural material. Approve as presented and then make the notes on the gutters, the columns, where there's some window notes, the garage door, AZEK trim to match roofing. So let's see, the front door was the only change. The garage door stand, right?
Correct.
Yep.
And then, I don't know how to say a decent lighting fixture, but decent lighting fixture on there.
He said he wanted a wash
Right.
and flood.
Yeah.
So we're approving it as presented, right? And the materials will be as presented. And what do you want to write? How do you want to word the gutter part? Just resolve gutter location?
Yeah, just to make sure he's resolved the rear of the garage, upper addition, gutters and downspouts.
And I would even go as far to say no leaders to be positioned on the roof.
Yeah, I would almost also suggest they remove that one on the front, on the existing, and see if they can rework that.
Yeah, that'll be difficult.
Right, there's one coming down.
Yeah.
I mean, he could turn it into the side or something, right? So it's not like a big Y, right?
Yeah, instead of the front, have it go down the side of the house.
Yeah.
No, because your roof's in the way.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I thought there was more to that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm good with that. So everyone good?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Our next one is 133 Summit Drive. Mary?
I'm okay. I don't know if we want to mention the situation with the portico, that the relationship with the columns and the beams needs to be we're gonna need-
Resolved. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, I've got that note. That was a good one. Casey?
No, I have nothing. That was a good catch at the end. Yeah, with the posts. Other than that, I mean, I think they did a pretty good job considering the existing house.
Boy, yeah, that was
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it was creepy to see some of those photos and how all the roof lines, they cleaned it up and kept really the majority of the original character, which I was impressed with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to work for Andy, who was that landscape architect that used to work for Sasaki and ended up building homes here in town? Ron Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Andy started out with Ron, and it's come a long ways, doing a good job. Fran, you good?
yep, I'm good with it.
Brian?
Yeah, I'm good with it. I think it's going to be a big improvement over what's there.
Andrew?
Yeah, I think they did a pretty nice job. And yes, I do want to make sure that we comment on the column locations and that beam and the roof. Make sure that we have that commentary in there.
And your flashing and up by the windows.
Yep.
You'd say flashing and was it ice and water shield?
Well,
A flashing detail. That's what it was.
flashing detail.
Yeah.
The window above the proposed entry.
And then Mary also said portico stay clear of the windows. So, yeah, so that should be everything.
Can we go over what the column thing was? I wasn't quite following that first time.
So I think I'll jump in. If we reposition those columns and pull those columns in toward the door,
Yep.
then we have the ability to catch the main header beam of the entranceway.
Okay, so put them under the pier then.
And then that gives him the ability to raise the bottom of the roof itself, come higher.
Okay.
So it doesn't affect the window on the left-hand side of the doorway. So those columns need to be positioned in not just a few inches, they probably need to be pulled in by a foot or more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he'll work that out.
Yeah.
So. All right, I think that's everything.
All right.
I was going to ask, and this is just, I mean, probably inexperience on residential design, but on the side elevation of the porch, it's MDO plywood. Is that appropriate for that? Just painted?
Yeah, no, I would work out a better detail.
Where do you see that, Casey?
It was the proposed west elevation, so it's the side, looking at the side of the new porch overhang.
Right here.
But again, residential isn't my thing, so I'm not sure if that's considered like if that's just normal. Once you paint it, it's good to go. But
What material would you recommend otherwise?
like I said, I'm commercial. I mean, I'm like EIFS and manufactured stone. So that's why I'm just asking for people who might be better at detailing, if this is good for everyone, or is that, I mean, I guess I would picture more of the shingles that they would have in other places around the house. But it's also an odd little triangle,
Yeah, it's a very odd little
you know?
Well, we can always ask for a different material if you want.
I guess I don't care. It was more just durability and if that material was appropriate.
Right.
I have seen it used, for exterior soffits, and it is an exterior material.
Yeah, it's an
Um,
exterior
I
grate.
think it's okay.
Perfect.
So Jeff, are you all set?
Yep, I'm all set.
Okay. Well, I have an empty glass, but here's a virtual toast to everybody. Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah and